Okay.
Okay. So regarding hyperactivity and occupational therapy, see what happens is hyperactivity can happen due to sensory, but can also happen due to various other reasons also. For example, hyperactivity can also be there when your regulation over your own movement level is not very good. What I mean by that is we all have a sense of movement according to the situation. Like when you go to a classroom, your movement level should be low from our own internal side. When you go to a playground, your movement level should be actually relatively higher. You can't be the other way around. If you sit very quietly in a playground, then also you are not doing good. And when you are moving too much in the classroom, then also it is not very good idea.
Sound right.
So what happens is with children, uh, with especially also children with ADHD or children with autism with ADHD. If you are aware of
ADHD.
diagnostic classifications nowadays, children with autism are also getting dual diagnosis, which means they have two diagnoses at the same time, which is autism with ADHD. Now, when there is autism with ADHD, the ADHD is a problem with executive functions. ADHD is a problem with inhibitory control. They cannot control themselves. It is not in their control to control themselves. So they are moving or they are getting hyperactive. One, because of they need movement as a sensory input, but also because there is some sense of not having a good regulation in their brain. Now what should we do for these children is you have to work with them through two or three approaches at the same time within occupational therapy. You cannot do occupational therapy with only sensory understanding and perspective, but what you have to do is you have to do sensory for sure, but along with sensory, how can you make them a little more self-regulated? Like we had taken another example earlier with autism, where we are making them regulated by our own body language, our own calmness, our own patience, our own we call it co-regulation. Now let me give you another example of co-regulation. When children are hyperactive in occupational therapy, apart from giving activities which are sensorily driven and planned, as a therapist, should I do activities that are very exciting, enthusiastic activities on, this one, or should I do activities which are a little slower, one activity at a time? Not many materials should be lying around. Everything should be back in the place. Only one task at a time is given to the child. What we are saying this is called co-regulation. Co-regulation means when the other person is not regulated, you have to be in a certain way as a therapist, educator. You have to appear and behave in certain way that his regulation comes or into action because of you, because of your actions, because of your behavior. The regulation comes into action. So you will be calm with your voice. You cannot be very active because the child is also already very active. You can't be very active. You have to be very slow in your body language. You don't have to be running after the child. You can't be saying, oh, let's do this, come on, let's do now, swing, let's do this. Now do you want to swing? Because the child is already active. You have to stay in one place, somewhere, wherever you are with the child in the environment, and you have to talk in a way where his hyperactivity is not impacting you. You have to behave and talk in a calm and relaxed way without rushing. If your voice or your instruction is in a rushed way because you are thinking that the child is very fast, I should give very very fast if you are in a rushed way, then the hyperactivity will increase. If you are in a soft and slow way, deliberately, whatever is the name of the child, you take that name, XYZ. Are we doing this activity now? Should we go now? And he's moving, and let him move. Don't run after him. Don't run after him. Come, let's go there, let's do this, let's try this. Don't do that. Stay at one place, let him go around, believe that he is listening to you. XYZ, I have put this activity for you. Come, let's do it. And wait for him to join you. And he keeps moving. He keeps moving. Then you can walk towards him wherever he is, and you again repeat your instruction. I'm just giving an example. This is hypothetical. But what I am trying to say here is that the co regulation comes from you. The onus is on the educator and the therapist. It is not the child who has to behave properly. It is the therapist and the educator who has to behave properly. If that is